good morning, Miss Carla Martinesi. Nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet you.
Shohil, and thank you so much for joining us for this opportunity. And I would like to first know more about you. Could you give us a brief introduction about you?
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name is Carla. I grew up, I was born in Hong Kong, but I grew up sort of all over the place. I moved around in many, many different countries, and it sparked a big love for food. I lived in about 8 different countries, and I really loved sort of the language of food and how everyone came together, no matter what culture, what language it was. Everyone was always at a dinner table eating and enjoying. Which led to a bachelor degrees in hospitality. I spent about 4 years learning about everything under the moon about hospitality, food, beverage, and things like that. But growing up, I spent most of my time in Switzerland, and it was very sustainable. And when I moved back to Hong Kong to be closer to my family, I found that Hong Kong was not that sustainable.
It's going to be soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something to sort of give back to the community that had raised me so well, which was F&B and food and beverage which was a great part of my life. Both my parents were also in food and beverage, so it was something that was quite dear to me, but also very unsustainable. So I came up with the idea for CHOMP as a way to not only help the F&B industry create more revenue stream for their businesses, but also to help them be more sustainable by creating a platform that essentially helps them list whatever is left over food surplus at the end of the day, and people can buy it at a discount. So it's sort of a win-win-win situation.
So you have very diverse background. Could you let us know of how you were studied in Switzerland and you went to different schools around Europe, and then why did you in the end choose to come here, and how was the process?
I always wanted to come back to Hong Kong. My mom is from here, and my Chinese family has always been based in Hong Kong, and they've never moved. And despite moving all around, I always came back every year to be with them, my grandparents and everyone, my aunties and stuff. And so I wanted to come back and be a little bit closer to them culturally, but also with my awful Cantonese language. I wanted to
Can you
try.
speak Cantonese though?
It's getting a lot better, but it's not
'cause
fluent.
It's a very hard language to learn. I know that as well. I can.
It's getting better. It's getting better. I can now order food, so it's getting better.
Good progress.
But essentially, I wanted to come back for that.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn a little bit more, and so I was always drawn to Hong Kong because family was still here. So I moved back to Hong Kong in 2019 after graduating. I had a job in marketing for F&B brands. So we worked on a lot of campaigns for luxury brands and restaurant brands and stuff. I decided to quit during COVID, thinking it was going to be like SARS. I think you guys are too young to remember SARS, but SARS was only 3-4 months long, and I thought COVID was going to be quite similar, and it was not. So I had quit. I did part-time jobs, I did freelance jobs in marketing and in restaurants to sort of work alongside while I was building CHOMP, which was the app, yeah.
So such a variety of roles you have, from bartending to from restaurants, cafes, marketing roles. And then all of a sudden, why did you decide to do CHOMP?
It was, the trigger point was when a lot of my friends in F&B had been let go. They were getting fired.
Around that COVID era,
yes. Right? And it was because these businesses had a really hard time with cash flow. And so they were basically losing a lot of product or a lot of surplus food, and a lot of it was getting wasted because we had these curfews. We had 6 p.m. curfews. We had 2 people dining only curfews, things like that.
Yeah,
that were just.
Hong Kong was one of the strictest.
It was the strict, yeah. What was it? BBC News was worst place to be during COVID. You're like, great. So a lot of my friends were getting fired, and I was thinking, this is so crazy that we're throwing away kilos and kilos of food, and this is essentially the equivalent of money. But then they can't afford to keep you with your salary. It's just so crazy that this is 2 things that are problems, but actually can be totally solved together. So the idea for CHOMP came as a way to help these restaurants with new revenue, but also save the leftover food surplus that was getting thrown out.
Oh, that's amazing. I was thinking about there are other startups as well, like in Hong Kong, CHOMP, and then Feeding Hong Kong. And like, if you compare Hong Kong to like way back, like 2009, there was around like more than 3,000, like 3,200 tons of food waste going in every year. But then coming to like 2025, it's still around the same level. Why do you think it's like that? Or like, do you think like what more work needs to be done? Like, what's your take on it?
I think the government needs to step in. Like, it's getting to a point where we can't evoke massive change unless someone from higher up makes massive change.
So many policies have been rolled out in the recent
Yes.
years, but do you think that's not like effective enough?
I think I don't know how much I can say. I think the government's quite stubborn in, I'm going to tiptoe here. I think the government's quite stubborn in rolling out policies. I think what I imagine is happening is that they see some people say that you shouldn't roll it out. So then they go, oh, well, some people said it, then I shouldn't roll it out. Whereas what we could be doing is seeing other countries that have benefited from similar laws. Taiwan, Japan, France, Switzerland is one of them that has passed laws that are so similar to the MSW law, municipal solid waste law, where you get taxed on how much garbage you make.
But also I think Korea, I guess.
Correct, yeah, Korea. And like these places, these countries have done so well in such different landscapes, right? Switzerland is nowhere near a cityscape.
It's fully natural.
Yeah, fully natural. Korea is quite similar to Hong Kong. Taiwan, like Taipei, is quite similar to Hong Kong in some ways. So that, you know, it's a model that works very well in other places. I don't see why it wouldn't work well here. You can compare many things. You can say the aging population split. Actually, Korea is quite similar.
Yeah,
you
Japan,
can say,
Taiwan,
you can say resources type Taiwan is quite similar. Like you can compare so many different factors, but you see other countries doing so well with the same model that I feel like somebody went forward and said, I don't think we can do it, and everyone went, oh great, we can't do it. Yeah, that's it. So I think there's definitely ways to implement it. It definitely needs a better marketing campaign. I think the way that they did it was so ugly. And I think anyone who saw it, A, didn't understand what they were talking about, B, thought it was really complicated, and C, thought it was too expensive. But actually, in reality, it was not. None of those things were true, but the way that it was marketed seemed like it was going to be a really complicated new law that was going to cost us millions, and actually it wasn't. It was going to be a couple of extra dollars per person. And encouraging recycling, encouraging businesses to be more sustainable, but actually the way they market it just seems so, it's so hard.
I think everyone here has an intention. Like if
For sure.
Like Hong Kong people are so adaptable.
Yes.
Like they're always, okay, if I get a new initiative, I should take initiative, whether it's like not just food waste, whether it's like waste generated by them or like any clothing recycling thing. But then I think there is like a gap in between. And also like thinking about like Hong Kong in particular, like we on average generate per capita more waste, like twice or thrice as much compared to the global world. But then, so I think things need to be done. But I also feel like, do you think that all like sectors, like we need like corporates, not just government, but like startups like you and also maybe social enterprises, all of them need to like work together? And then maybe we can have some more like change in the coming future.
No, definitely. I think it's completely impossible to do it one person or one company. I think there's just no. But you can look at everything else that's been passed around the world. There's never been a moment where it was one company that was like, here's how we're going to create new habits and everyone's going to join. The closest version that you can compare it to is the octopus card. Where it was mandatory, like you could not go anywhere without having to use this thing. And then it instilled a 98% implementation rate into the population. Then sure, but that's because MTR was like, you cannot get through without this card. You had 7-Eleven and corporations that was like, you can pay, but we suggest, and it was like, you get a special deal if you pay this price. This is back in like early 2000s. Like, so it was like all these entities that went, okay, let's get on board, let's do this, and let's implement this so that everyone does it. But if Octopus as a startup came in and was like, I want everyone to use this card, I don't think
Yeah,
anyone's
that
going
was
to
like
use this
30
card.
years ago, and like I
Yeah.
think when Octopus actually launched, it was like the second only in the whole world to have
Yes.
a like contactless payment
Yeah.
system that time. And right now people are still using it like every day. It's
Yeah.
just a big part. But then that means like we also need some like innovation, you know, like
Correct.
how to have like better waste management,
Yeah.
how to have more better food management and like recycling initiatives.
Yeah.
I also see that there are so many brands like out there who have this initiative that okay, the clothes that we made are fully recyclable, or like the bags that we sell are all recyclable, the products that we made, and you can come into the store and then just give it out and we'll recycle it
Yeah.
for you. Do you think that is working? Or is it
I
like
think there's a little
just
greenwashing there. I don't know how true those
Yeah.
things are.
yeah
I would love to see like a documentary or like investigative reporter follows H&M and says, where are
Yeah.
these clothes going? I think if they're saying what they're saying and it's true, I think it's so great.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's a good initiative at
for
core.
sure.
Yeah.
Because in return you get a discount.
Yeah.
In return you support this brand. Yeah, like I would support this brand that says we will collect your leftover clothes, and in return we give you 20% discount on your next purchase. A huge incentive, right? Because, and it's the same as the CHOMP app, you get a discount because you're using the app. It's 50% off. So I think it's a huge way of saying this is an easy thing to use because you get a money incentive. But it's only if it's
in
true.
real life,
only if it's true.
Working or not, or like, is it generating that much impact is also important.
Exactly, and we don't know, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know if they actually are really transparent, if they actually say, yes, we're making this impact and here's the results, then for sure, but we don't know, right?
Yeah, like for me also, like I'm still a student. I mean, I don't buy a lot of stuff, but like when it comes to me, like for example, clothes, I have so many clothes that I just want to like discard. I just don't want to wear it.
Yeah.
But then there's like a gap. I don't want to go again and again to some place, some shop, and like, okay, this cloth is from H&M or this cloth is from Zara, so I go there. No one has that much time.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think there's a big gap, and I think a lot needs to be done. But
Yeah.
if so, I think like it can generate a huge impact.
For sure.
Like if we are able to like make all age groups do some recycling initiatives like a couple of times a month or a couple of times a year, I think that alone is like big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Hong Kong is having, like also mainland China, like reaching net zero.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we have to have initiatives, and now you see sectors which Hong Kong is developed in, like finance and stuff.
Yeah.
We are seeing green economy and like sustainable finance going in.
Yeah.
So I think why not move into like recycling initiatives?
Agreed.
Yeah, like in Korea, like every household, they have to like separate their waste. And if they don't, they get like fined.
Yeah, it's the same in Switzerland.
Yeah, and like you have to pay the amount of money as per the weight of the waste you generate.
Yeah,
so that just makes people to okay, I have to generate as little generate
because then I
possible.
Save as much money.
Yeah, and then I save money. So it's just a huge amount. So think about like small households, and you know, like people who are working every day in the kitchen, and they're generating so much food waste. But then when it comes to throwing away, this actually incentivizes them to think in that direction.
Yeah.
No,
exactly. And I don't see why this is what I said earlier. It's like it's been implemented so many places.
Yeah.
Why is it so difficult to do it here
when
it's done so many times, right? And I think the problem in Hong Kong as well is that sure, we don't have the resources. In Switzerland, the way that it works is that you, when you move into a new house, or if you move in on the 1st of January, new or old house, every house gets a calendar.
Yeah.
And the calendar says every day of the week, we will pick up a certain type of garbage. So on Mondays, we collect plastic. On Tuesdays, we collect paper. And so everyone puts it on the street as plastic day, paper day, glass day.
Yeah.
And when the garbage truck comes, they collect only whatever is marked as paper. So it's a certain colored bag that would be only paper. And we have a really high recycling rate because of this. But in Hong Kong, I understand we don't have the resources. Like we don't have a garbage truck going around to every house, you know.
Exactly.
But then, you know, we have to adapt to something like Korea where it's like similar. You don't have a garbage truck going around all the time, but how do we adapt towards a new system that works for places like apartment buildings? that are
Yeah,
based
and we
on
have
that.
so like we are the most vertical city in the world.
Yeah.
And also like think about like so many garbage like cans which have like separated out. We actually lack it in a way,
Yeah.
right? Like it's only as of like my previous feature, there are only 11 spots where you can go and recycle stuff
And getting
throughout the
less.
city,
Yeah, they're getting
and
less.
they're getting less. So I think that might make people to not do that. Like
For sure.
it's so much work, and Hong Kong is a fast city.
Yeah.
People are always in rush.
Yeah.
They don't have time to do any stuff.
Or to go somewhere to recycle.
To go somewhere to recycle.
Yeah.
That's exactly. But like, it doesn't mean that people are not willing to recycle.
Yeah, correct.
But it's just that that's why they don't want to.
Yeah.
Because it's too hard, or it's, yeah, they don't have the time.
Exactly.
But then walk us through like how you got the idea of Chomp, and like walk us through your growth, like when you found this gap in the market, and then how you thought that this can be the big thing, and also tell us like, do you think we need more initiatives like Chomp to actually drive Hong Kong towards that kind of pathway?
Sure. Earlier you were talking about clothing. I was just thinking about there's a girl in Hong Kong that started a business that is a wardrobe sharing.
Oh.
So it uses similar technology to Chomp, where you basically are a marketplace. I mean, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing new, but you yourself can put how much clothes you have that you are willing to let people rent, and then someone else can borrow it, right? So it's called like Hong Kong Shared Wardrobe. It's called Fenxiang. It's a really great platform, but essentially it's very sustainable.
Innovative.
Yeah, because if you don't have that much space in the house, you can basically go and like rent these different clothes from people in your neighborhood, or like special occasion clothes, right? Like dresses and things. But what I was trying to get to is, I think Hong Kong relies heavily on startups.
Yeah.
And it will in the future, right?
Yeah.
These innovations that is required to make change will be dependent on startups. Not necessarily us, but I mean startups in general, right? They are the ones that will change. Octopus was a startup.
Yeah.
They will change the way that the city operates for the better. And not at a cost that is so great, or at a cost that is like climate change. It will be better. So for us, we started in 2021, so almost 4 years ago. This November, we started just with 20 restaurants and helping reduce their waste with about 200 people on the app. Over the course of the following year, we did an official launch. We had saved something close to about 500 kilos, like nothing crazy.
That's amazing.
Well, yes, I guess at the time, but for us, it was so little. We were like, it's not good enough. We had then expanded to Kowloon Shangri-La, working with the Mira Hotel, working with the Royal Garden in Eton. We started working with buffets. We started working with skincare and florals. And today we launched pet food.
Wow. And like last day's policy address for the pet economy.
Yes, exactly. It's completely boomed, and it's so accurate, right? Like there are so many people who have pets that are unable to do so much. And it's very expensive here. I don't know why it's so expensive. So essentially you can look at it as anything with an expiration date can go on Chomp. So it's way past baked goods, lunch dishes, expired
even
beer.
Reaching out to like convenience stores.
Yes,
like
exactly. That
spas and,
totally works on Chomp. And last year we launched something that we call the Rescued Feast, which is an event.
Yeah, that is something I really want to go to. Yes.
It happens every quarter, so you're welcome to the next one. But it's a ticketed event where we collect food scraps that is left over from restaurants. So you can imagine there's two types. There's food surplus, which is anything left over in excess. And then there's food scraps, which is kitchen scraps, ingredient scraps that are left over, things like cucumber skin, leftover congee, like these are all random things that would be thrown out.
But they're still edible.
Correct.
They're still usable.
And so we collect it, we ask for it to be frozen, we collect it, we bring it to a chef, and then he
High-end
is
chefs,
a
like,
high-end. It has to be high-end because
and then you give them a task.
no one wants to get your mom's cooking and just do whatever. So they want like a high, fine dining chef. And so we basically challenge them to make a buffet for 200 people. We make it more exciting with like a DJ, there's a raffle, we support smaller businesses who want to auction off and have a little bit of visibility on their brands through the raffle. All the proceeds go to charity for the raffle, so we've supported about 4 charities so far with that. But yeah, essentially, it's a way to look at food scraps as something new.
And so many interesting recipes.
They're so cool,
like
yeah.
From almond and oat milk to like
Super
pastries.
cool. Yeah,
And like really.
Oh, good research.
Yeah, I just heard your session. It's like so like it like if you look at it, it looks like it's like $600 recipe. But it's also like makes the chefs to be more creative. So like, okay, you have this almond milk, you have this cucumber scraps. What are you gonna do with it?
What can we do?
And like they become so creative and like come out with so like beautiful looking recipes.
And they're really high quality dishes. Like some of them come out and you're like, I can't believe this was scraps. Usually we add like the logos of the vendors, or we add the scrapped items that was on the name cards. So if you're going to get like, I don't know, hummus, it says like beetroot oil that is like marked under the hummus so that you know what scrap you're eating that would have been thrown away. One event saves about 300 kilos of food. So the impact is super high. So to date, we've saved about 100,000 kilos of food from going to waste. This is anything from, I say food, but actually it could be anything from flours to creams to, pretty much anything. So what I was saying before is that I think impact comes from a community thing. We can't do this impact without 300 restaurants that work with us. We can't do it without the 90,000 users that are on the app. The people who come to our dinner series, maybe they don't use the app, but they come from one night. They've helped contribute to reducing 350 kilos of food. I think Hong Kong is going to have to go towards a solution that is community driven. It needs to be with the people and what they want. Because if you do one thing and say everyone needs to do it, I seriously doubt everyone's going to be on board.
And a lot of your users come from like 80% of them come from like word of mouth. So like the thing spreads so quickly.
I think if you've got a product that actually is interesting or fun, or it helps you save money or makes an impact, I think people have multiple reasons to join. It's not just because it like looks nice. I think people need a reason to do something.
So do you have any ideas of like expanding it? Like you are like bars, restaurants, hotels, boutiques. Do you think that maybe someday, like because we generate so many different kinds of waste, and all of them like account to so much of carbon dioxide in the end, and they end up in landfills, and then it's like really bad. But then do you think like do you have any idea of like future expansion, or do you think like not just you, but then other companies or maybe other startups need to think in a different direction so that we have better waste management in total?
Well, for Hong Kong, like 60% of the landfills are just food.
Our food,
It's so much. Compared to things like textiles, plastic, plastic is actually only like 30%. So in comparison, we're pushing all these laws about plastic waste, right? We're banning things like straws and cutlery and disposable packaging. 60% of the landfill is food. Like we should be targeting things that actually are filling up the landfill, right? I would love to see more startups in the food space, whether it's waste or whether it's like farm management, or maybe it's inventing trucks that can keep for food longer. I don't know. It could be anything, right? 60% is food, but of the 60%, 30% is on a consumer level, right? So half of that's on a consumer level. Like there are things that we can do in our house.
Just a small change
for
that
sure,
we can do can have so much big impact.
I mean, CHOMP only solves so little of that because it's like things that are in the house, right? 20% comes from restaurants, 10% comes from things like catering, hospitals, and whatnot, right? I mean, we're doing so little compared to what you could do at home. Like if there was a way that you could manage things at home, huge impact. But so I would love to see more innovation or more businesses that have, maybe they target food in other ways, target food at home, target food at the source where it's like deliveries, or maybe we encourage regenerative farming for our farmers. 98% of the food in Hong Kong is imported.
It's like
where are our farmers?
There are so many. A lot of businesses like depend on it. And that means a lot of like F&B businesses there, and like wholesalers, retailers.
Exactly.
And like thinking about CHOMP is like you have like think about like Shangri-La Hotel or like big hotels who like sell stuff for like $700, $600, and on your platform you can go as low as $80 for the same stuff, which is still edible. Like food and dining in Hong Kong is so expensive. And like of course not everyone wants to spend that much money. You know? Not everyone can. but then you're able to deliver that experience, that taste to people at such a lower cost. Like,
Yeah.
that's like amazing, I would say.
I mean, you have to look at it as well that the experience is not the same, right? The
I
reason
mean,
why you pay so much is because you get like a waiter at your table, your tea's refilled all the
with a good
time.
view, with a
You've
good
got an
person in front of
amazing,
you.
yeah, exactly. You've got like a great date. You've got like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Of course, the experience is totally different. But if you can't afford that experience and you want to see if it's worth trying, the CHOMP app is a great way to test, especially if you're not willing to commit to that much money. But if you go, oh, this is a great solution, or it's a great dish, I really love it. The next time I have a date or the next time I want to celebrate my birthday, we can go there because I know that the food is really great.
Yeah.
Because I tried it firsthand. That's also a great solution. But yeah, I think it's difficult to compare like a $700 dinner versus an $80 box when you're missing so much. And it's not to discourage people from still going to hotels.
Yeah,
and
that's
buffets.
true as well.
I mean, I still love hotels and buffet, even though it's super unsustainable. We all have guilty pleasures.
Yeah. And also, like, I would like to know, like, was there like any personal experience or a story that like long ago that just gave you or like that sparked that like that you should start a business or you should do something for this, like some experience you had?
I think earlier I mentioned about my friends who got let go in the restaurants, but I think one of the biggest ones was another big trigger, which I didn't mention before, is I used to snowboard a lot. I mean, I grew up in Switzerland, so it's pretty, it was pretty normal. But when I moved to Hong Kong in 2019, the first trip I went back home to see my parents was probably 2022. And it was because COVID, like you couldn't fly, and my parents are aging, so I wanted to try and go back as often as I could. And Switzerland's about a 12-hour flight, so if you're going to go, you're going to go as a good commitment trip. Like you need to go for a while, and by the time you fly back, so it's quite a bit of work. And when I went back to Switzerland, I went back to a mountain that I had grown up. I learned to ski when I was 5.
Wow. And ski is not easy. That's the one I know.
And then I started snowboarding at 16. So you can imagine how long I've been on the mountain, like with the snow. So this is one hill that I learned how to ski. It's a very important mountain for me because it's where my younger sibling learned how to ski. It's where my mom learned how to ski. She's from Hong Kong, so she's never skied before. So it's where she learned. So it's like a very significant location for me. It's about 20 minutes away from our house where I grew up. And in 2022, I went back home and and it was winter. It was almost Christmas. And I was like, oh, let's go back and snowboard and let's go see the mountain again. And we went back this December. It's completely green.
Wow.
And I went, no, this is crazy. Like I can see the mountains in the background. There's like all this snow. And I spoke to the guy who works there and he goes, no, we don't open anymore. The climate change has completely killed us. We have no more snow. It's too low.
It's too low.
And I was like, I've been here my whole life since I was 5.
Yeah, and you cannot experience the same thing ever.
And I was thinking, my kids will never experience this again. Like they will never know what it's like to ski here. That was so significant. I went back to Hong Kong and was like, oh my God, this is totally like, I won't use that word. Yeah, I was going to use this word, but it's totally wrong, right? Like why are we not looking at this like this is a big problem? Like things are happening so drastically in our weather that is caused by us. It's caused completely by us as humans. I mean, Hong Kong had 4 black rains this year. It's September.
And now we're having another typhoon next week.
We have 2 typhoons coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be the
completely
highest
unheard
ever
of
in 7 years.
Yeah, and we've had the highest rainfall in what is it, 30 years.
Yeah.
We've had the highest number of black rains. We've had the most amount of typhoons in a year. And no one is looking at this going, this is great, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like this is completely climate change. I put it on my Instagram story the other day and this guy wrote to me and says, this is just a fluke. No climate change. And I was like, no, I can't talk to you. It was, I mean, these are all signs that things are happening and things are changing. The summers are getting hotter.
Yeah, the summer is getting hotter. The winter is getting colder.
Yeah.
And like we are experiencing. Okay, we used to experience typhoons before, but
Yeah.
now we are experiencing even more tougher typhoons.
Yeah.
Longer typhoons.
Yeah.
And like what the city is doing. Okay, we are gonna make a very resilient transport system so that the city doesn't flood. It's really good initiative, but
Yeah.
we also need to think.
The cause.
Okay, how can we reduce it?
Yeah.
Like what are we doing? And like people say that actually the Earth is taking revenge on us.
Oh,
No,
I'm
no.
sure. If I was Earth, I would do the same. Take
Yeah.
revenge.
Yeah, it's like it's such a big thing, but then people are like ignoring in a way.
Yeah.
And like we need to do it at even faster rate. As okay, there are so many policies, there are so many like investments going in, there are so many products. We are making our grids greener.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, but I think it's not enough.
No.
Yeah, we have
It's
this
too slow.
AI is coming with this boom of AI. We need more data centers, but then think about the environmental aspect
Yeah.
of it.
The cool down effect. Yeah.
Like, are we ready for it? Do we have innovative solution ready for it?
Yeah.
So definitely, I think that space needs to be, and there is like supply and demand of people.
Yeah, that's the other problem, right? It's like people want AI, people want faster results, people want the internet faster, and it comes at a cost, right?
It comes at a cost, yeah.
But then, what can we do to counter it? Like, what can we do? Yeah, sure. I'm not denying that AI will come through, like, and we are using it in our everyday lives. So, what can we do to make up for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say that I think it's okay. We get new technologies. The world is very changing at today's rate. But like we need to be very adaptable, you know. We need to find innovative solutions, you know, to every problem so that we are like better tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think that's a thing. It's not like okay, AI is bad or AI is good.
No, not
it's
at
not
all.
like a gray or a, you know, it's not a black line in between. But then I think we need to think in that direction of how can we make it even better? How can we increase its benefits in a way? But yeah, I would also like to know like your entrepreneurial experience, like for like youngsters, you know, you mentioned there's a lot of startups happening. We just had an IPO boom.
Yeah.
A record high in Hong Kong, in the world, and now we are seeing, and a lot of like more than 90% of like the companies here are like small and medium enterprises.
Yeah.
So we have such a big pool of entrepreneurs, and we have such a big pool of people who want to do startups. But then, could you give us some like guidance or like some tips for like youngsters for entrepreneurship, or maybe some experience that you firsthand experienced?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a massive boom, and I think Hong Kong is a great place to do entrepreneurship. You have
like the system and the is really good. Like you can do it in 3 days. I have an idea. I talk with my friends tomorrow, and the third day is listed.
For sure, for sure. No, exactly. And
it's
that's
so fast
why,
and efficient.
That's why it's so good, right? It's so good that you have these solutions that can actually grow like this, because Hong Kong needs businesses that actually support them. I got told last week that I was at a summit in Bangkok, and they were telling me Bangkok has 1,000 startups.
Wow.
Hong Kong has 6,000.
6,000.
We're the same population. Hong Kong and Bangkok. Bangkok, not Thailand, right?
Yeah, Bangkok.
6,000 business. There are 6,000 startups in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and then I think there's room for more.
And there's so much room for more. And there's so much money that can be put into great solutions. I think I started CHOMP when I was 23.
Wow.
So
that's when people are in their university or just graduating out of it.
I mean, I took a gap year, so I definitely was on the slower side of university. But you know, there's definitely, I mean, you have kids who are building businesses in high school. You have kids who are doing it in university. I really think that now is such a great time because, like I said before, this is our next generation. You guys know the problems more than I would.
Yeah.
We're completely different generations, right? But the problems that I faced when I was starting my business will change for what you're facing now, right? And they're completely different. You see problems that we would never see because we're just different generations. But you will be able to build solutions that your future generations can benefit from.
Yeah.
Solutions like mine would not benefit someone who's 60 years old, like Ate, who's just like hanging out. He would not use an app like this. But people in my age or people who are 35, 40, they understand why this
can resonate with you.
Correct, yeah. So I think now is the time for you to build something, whether it's a small business or whether it's something just for your small community or it's for something back home or whatever it may be, something purely online, like it doesn't matter. I think now is the most amount of knowledge you'll have fresh that is unimpacted by things like doubt or worry or a bit of naivety, right? And I think that's when the ideas boom the most, is when
and you need to go
no
out of
one's
your
stopping
comfort
you.
zone. You need to go out.
I think if you do a career, let's say 10, 20 years, you do a career at a bank or a career at a consulting company, right? Your information and your knowledge will change completely because you've seen so much. But the startup that you thought about before might be totally different because you go, oh, it's super high risk. Oh, I need to start making money that's enough for my kids or enough for my spouse because I want to take care. Your priorities will be completely different. I'm not saying it's smart to like make a company at 21, 22. I'm saying that your priorities will be completely different and is a good time to do it because you're more naive, because you see the risks are different and you have the possibility to readjust your life even afterwards.
You're younger, so you have like more appetite.
I also think you have a lot more ideas now versus you would if you're 40. I mean, you can argue some people are better like having life experience and then they know how to fundraise, they know how to do all this stuff, they know how to run a company, for sure. But these are things that you can learn every day. There's so many. I mean, at your age, you can learn so much through AI, through masterclass.
The world is so connected today.
I really think those things you can learn, right? It's how I learned. I think it's really easy versus, oh, I'm just going to wait till I'm older or when the time is right. I really don't think there is a time where things are like, I think people assume that like you wake up one day and there's this light that just goes, today is the day you come up with a startup idea. Like I really doubt that it happens that way. I think whatever idea you have now, run it through 10, 20 people and see if it actually makes sense. And then if the sign is yes, then go ahead. I think now is the best time. Your ideas are the best and your motivation's the best.
Wow. So we need thousands of more entrepreneurs now.
For sure. Beat Bangkok.
Thanks for tuning in into our HKUST ENTRU podcast. Catch us on YouTube podcasts, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We hope to see you next time.